We are 1 month. September 3rd was when we were coming out to this site. So we've been here 1 month.
Yes.
So
a little while.
Five stars
For gate guarding?
for gate guarding.
4 stars.
4 stars.
Yep. Nothing's perfect.
Yeah, I'd say about 4 stars, and nothing's perfect. We are 1 month.
Who are we?
Our Sojourner's Journey.
Hi, Al.
Our Sojourner's Journey. It is Sunday, October 5th.
You're
September
supposed to be talking
3rd.
into the microphones?
September 3rd.
You pinned yours. Okay.
September 3rd was when we were coming out to this site. So we've been here 1 month.
We did the licensing, and that's the main qualification to being able to do the job. What's our job?
We are gate guarding.
Observe and report.
Observe and report, yeah. So getting the Texas DPS unarmed security guard, unarmed security license.
Right.
Legally licensed by the Texas Department of Public Safety.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're working to be out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a legal license. And what have we learned about gate guarding? Our professional opinion 1 month in about gate guarding.
In our first job. It's a mixed bag, but we're very grateful for it. That's the biggest thing I'd say. We're very grateful that this is a type of job and that we can do it. All of these things we learned from watching YouTubers do this before we did it, so that we'd have some idea of what we needed to bring with us, what we would need to use, and how we would need to use it. I think that really just sums up, you know, how we've been prepared for this journey.
And yeah, we've been out here 1 month. It's good that they supply a separate trailer that's got a Kubota V1505 4-cylinder diesel generator that runs 24/7. Every 2 weeks when they come out to replenish our 500-gallon water tank, they do the oil change and oil filter change and check the diesel engine.
I check the fuel. You have to keep an eye on the fuel, although it lasts for a whole month. But once it starts going down near the bottom, you got to communicate that it's quite low, and we know we've been here a month because we've had it refilled. So I gotten in the habit of checking that as well.
We've been about a month, and then we had to call for some more diesel fuel, and it was a Friday, and they got to us by Tuesday morning.
They got lost.
Yeah, it's where we're at.
Like everybody that comes here.
So, and they put 265 gallons in. So we used about 265 gallons in about a month's period. So
and there was still a little bit left.
So he said it was a 300-gallon tank. So
there was, so that was what's the little bit left that was left.
There's a tube on the outside, and a couple of tapes at the bottom. Hey, if it's below this tape marking, you need to call, and then below this tape marking, you're drastically running low. So it's that window. But you know, the tube is old, so it's kind of dark, and so sometimes it's kind of hard to see where the fuel line is.
Yeah.
But that kind of lets you know how much fuel you got. And when once a week when we turn in our payroll,
Our invoice, yeah.
our invoice, we're supposed to talk about how much fuel
Water and how much water we have.
and how much fuel we have.
Yeah.
So that they can monitor it too on their end. We've been using about 250 gallons to 300 gallons of water every 2 weeks.
And that's with back flushing.
That's with doing back flushing before they come out.
In case you're new to RVing and what the hay is back flush, that's when once you've emptied your black tank, which is the waste from our bodies, once you empty that black tank, it really works a lot better if you flush it out with fresh water. Things tend to cling to the sides of the tank, unfortunately, and it helps reduce smells, and it's just better when you get the sides cleared. And I did 3 back flushes today as well.
We're also conservative on our water.
Yes.
We take kind of Navy showers where you rinse yourself down, lather yourself, then rinse yourself off.
Right.
So we're conservative on running the water, low flow water. So that puts us at about, we don't have a washer dryer out here, laundry washer dryer. So that helps too. So we're at about 250 gallons to 300 gallons of water every 2 weeks.
And I'm actually washing my hair, which was the big surprise. But my hair was a really big surprise because I have dreads that go down to nearly my backside, I guess. And the problem isn't wetting them down and getting the suds in them. The problem is how much water does it take to rinse out all those suds. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep, not use too much water and have to go to like a Planet Fitness membership and go use the showers there to get my hair properly done. But surprisingly enough, I've been able to do my hair, and I calculated it on, I think, the first time I did it, and I'm only using about 7 gallons in the whole process. So,
but how often do you
your
dreads?
I only have to wash my dreads once a week.
Okay.
That helps too.
Yeah. And it's another good thing on that note, to have a meter on your water so that you can kind of monitor how much you're using. And even on the hose that we use for back flushing, we have a meter, and then we calculate all this just so that we're monitoring how much water we're using.
I do like to go in the morning. I like to check all the. I've gotten into the habit now. I go on the other, because all that stuff is on the back side of the RV, so I don't go there until it's nice and bright daylight. But when it's nice and bright daylight, I've gotten into the habit of going back there, and I check what the meter says on how much water usage we've done. And I also even hit the tank. I hit the tank with my fist, because you can kind of hear where it's hollow up at the top, where you know that it's empty, and then you get that loud thunk where the water's full. But of course, that's just a guesstimate. So the water meters are the how many gallons, because it keeps a track of the total gallons, and I reset it once he's refilled the water tank. But that's a great peace of mind, knowing how much we've used, for sure. If we hadn't been watching all those shows, I wouldn't have known about getting a shower head that turns on and off at the head, because here's the most beautiful thing that they created. They put a little tub in an RV that I'm not going to sit in anyways, but the handles are down by the edge of the tub. Well, you're standing up and you want to turn off the water to conserve it. Well, then you'd have to turn off the hot and the cold completely, do whatever, turn them back on, and try to get to the temperature that you want without burning or freezing yourself. Yeah, that would have been a nightmare to try to do it that way. But because we'd been watching the shows, I knew that there was shower heads that we could replace the original shower head, that right at the handle, on off, and it keeps yes, there's a slight, when you first put it back on, it might be slightly hotter or slightly cooler, but it's very brief time. The fact of the matter is you're not bending down trying to, with your soap in your eyes, trying to find handles and turn them off or anything like that. So again, something very simple, but so important.
Another thing we've done to kind of conserve on water was to try and capture some of the shower water waste, because that's wastewater anyway. That would go into the gray tank, not the black tank. So we kind of capture some of that in a bucket in the shower, and instead of using fresh water to flush the toilet, we use the wasted shower water, which is wastewater anyway.
Yeah, that's definitely kept our water usage down. Obviously, we could be more liberal with water, but we'd rather be on the other side of the water and be able to have be able to do. I did 3 back flushes today. We couldn't do that if we weren't conserving water, if we weren't using gray water. And this comes back to our point of we're getting to use all of our skills that we've been learning for over the 2 years with gate guarding. Yeah, so preparedness has been huge, especially because we're out in the middle of nowhere.
We're out, yeah.
If we didn't come prepared, we could definitely have found this
arduous.
Either arduous, or we would have to even say, please replace us because we
can't handle it.
We can't handle it. We didn't prepare well enough.
Yeah, so as we've said in other videos, we've spent about 1.5 to 2 years watching YouTube channels of other people doing stuff like this. So, and just your off-grid boondocking RV lifestyle. If you watch plenty of videos about people who live off-grid or boondocking and what they have to do to prepare for it, or if you watch gate guarding videos, and that will prepare you about what you're getting into. And we did that for about 1.5 to 2 years, so that prepared us to, hey, this is what we're going to be. So we didn't come into this blindly,
right? I mean, and technically I wondered about it when we filled out the application to become gate guards. It asked if we had a generator, and I was like, why do we need a generator? Because I know that they provide the generator, but when they come to do the maintenance on it, they take it down temporarily. So if you're running anything important like an air conditioner, although it's pretty brief, you could do without it in that period of time, but we switch over to our generator and keep things going. Now, if we had to, worst case scenario, say we didn't keep a good enough track, or maybe we miscalculated where that fuel line was and we were actually lower than we actually were, we do have redundant power backups that we can rely on for at least, well, if we didn't run the AC, we could run for a full day we could easily run the generator for the main stuff. And then our other big one is Starlink, and Starlink is a power hog, but we can run that on our OPS. We've got another backup.
Yeah. So, push comes to shove, we can hook up our RV's 30 amp plug to either the gas generator or the Opus power supply. Yes.
It's actually kind of good because your generator, we didn't just go, oh, let's get any old, any old generator will do, any old power supply will do. We knew that the generator would have to be strong enough, powerful enough to run everything we are running in the rig. And we've used it. We've actually wally docked, which means we parked overnight at Walmart when we were traveling, and we couldn't have done that without our one or the other of our power supplies. And so again, the educating ourselves prepared us to look for the right thing. I was actually thought that, oh no, we have a gas generator, we don't really have to have another power supply. But Tom was like, I think we should get a power supply. And it was good timing because it was major sales, so it was really it was like almost in half or whatever price, and it was a good time to get it because we have used that secondary power supply.
We did it at the Wally dock because I took the 30 amp cord and I threw it through the window so that we had some power. And then when we were coming out here, we were out in the middle of nowhere. Our cell reception was not picking up. We couldn't contact the people that we were following that we got, they went ahead of us and we lost them and we didn't know where to go. And so we had to pull over. We had to hook up our Starlink to our power supply, to our Opus, so that we can get Starlink so that we can contact somebody. Starlink is, yeah, if you're out in the middle of nowhere doing gate guarding, Starlink
is a must. Yeah, it's definitely saved our bake. We have, again, talking about redundant stuff. You do want redundant stuff, especially when you're going to be out in the middle of nowhere, because if something breaks, you want to be able to pop a replacement in place. But to say the least, if we have a backup power supply, we have a backup internet dude. But the problem is that hadn't been topped up. It was gone to sleep in essence, and we couldn't dial out in order to make it work. So we were like in this catch-22 big time.
So we have Starlink as our main internet.
Yeah.
And then we have TravelFi, because TravelFi is a multi-cell carrier hotspot. So, our cell phones are only Tello. So I think they piggyback off T-Mobile. So they're only one cell tower. So if cell towers aren't doing T-Mobile, you don't have cell reception. TravelFi is a multi-carrier like AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, and whichever one's in the area, that's the one it's going to connect to.
And guess what we found out? When the person that goes to the town in the truck tries to use GPS, contact the person back here at home for information or just to let them know that we're safe, we were down and out.
Yeah.
And so we were so grateful that we've got TravelFi. TravelFi, we can turn on for a month and we can put it to sleep and we can turn it back on, or you can keep it. We're figuring out, because we're going into town once a week, we're just keeping it on while we're gate guarding here.
Yeah, we do like a minimal plan. Starlink's not cheap, but it's unlimited, no capping,
and it stays on the roof. Like I just said to Tom, I said, we're gonna have to get the Valterra. I want a secondary Valterra. I expect the Valterra to be just fine, but it only takes one boops or one whatever,
not that expensive.
And they're not that expensive, and then you're like without a no. So we're getting back up with those. I think the whole premise on this 1 month has been, we are really glad we prepared.
Be prepared.
We are really, really, really glad that we've taken the time. Sometimes we felt like we're being obsessive watching all of these YouTube videos, but
it has paid
off.
It
has definitely paid off. Yeah. So we also appreciate all you content creators. That's not what we are. That you've created your content and that you've been so consistent, because it's really helped us get ready. Propane's a must.
Propane, yeah. We keep we try. Our fridge is a 120 volt or propane. Our stove is propane. Most stoves are propane.
We have to get the new stuff.
We got a little gas propane grill that we put outside, so that sometimes if we do heavy duty cooking, it's done outside to keep from heating up the RV. One other thing that we got that helped us prepare was we got a small 12 volt 120 volt fridge freezer. It's about the size of an igloo cooler, so that when you go into town, because it's about an hour, give or take, either way, whichever town we go into, it's about an hour to get into town, plus all the running around, grocery shopping, then about an hour to get back. It's a good 5 or 6 hours just to go into town, do stuff, and come back. So we got a small little fridge freezer that we plug into the truck when we go into town, and that keeps the cold or frozen food until you get back.
Yeah, that's made a huge difference for sure. Gate guarding is an amazing opportunity and job. It's it has positives and negatives, like every job. We are glued to this place. One person has to be here at all times for however long the gate is running. That could be weeks, that could be months,
Don't know how
sometimes
long.
many months.
They don't know how long. It's however long, whether you're at a drill site or a frack site or a gas site or a solar farm site or whatever. How long it is. It's however long the gate is. You know, we've heard of some people at some gates that have been there 22 months.
Yeah.
And then there's some people that go and they're there for a couple of weeks and then it closes down, and you know, then they try and find another gate. There's a truck coming in. So, you know, there are different types of gates depending upon where you're at. So we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and you know, so we're about 6 miles one way to a main road, or 9 miles another way to a road, and you know, we're not right up on the rig, but we've seen some where they're right up on the rig, or they're right off a main road, or they have a nice picturesque area with nice trees and everything looks beautiful, and we're out here in the middle of the desert. So, and then there are some that are the 24/7 gate, which is where we're at. We've got to figure out our hours, and then there's somewhere it's a 12-hour gate that you share with another couple, and there's a reason you share it with another couple, where they do 12 hours and you do 12 hours, is because it's an extremely busy gate.
Yeah.
So there are many
Lots.
different types of gates.
And
1 month in.
Well, yeah, we'll be back at you in a little while.
Five stars
for gate guarding.
For gate guarding.
4 stars.
4 stars.
Yep. Nothing's perfect.
Yeah, I'd say about 4 stars. 4 stars because we enjoy this better than our grind, and nothing's perfect, so nothing's 5 stars. You just be prepared, study up,
yep,
do your homework, and you can do this. We have to figure out our hours, be prepared for isolation.
Yeah.
Depending upon the gate.
Have some hobbies. No, don't have multiple hobbies. Hobbies.
we have to figure out the hours. So what we've kind of narrowed down that has been working for us right now is you're up around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I go to bed, and I'm up around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then we share the day.
Yeah.
Until you are turning in about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
For the night, and then I have the night.
Yeah.
So then that's kind of work for us.
Mm-hmm. And we found out too, because it's long, even when you're sitting and you're sort of semi-relaxing, what we found it was nice for each other is we gave each other a good hour and a half break each day, where you can take off your vest, take off your badge, and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, when I get up after I've had my coffee and I'm good and going, then you take about an hour to an hour and a half break, and then when you're done, before you do all the cooking, or maybe while you're doing the cooking and checking in trucks, I take my hour and a half. Now, I know that I had just got up, but when she goes down for about 10 hours, I'm alone. So I need my hour and a half break that we just sit there, and, you know, we're both inside the RV. So we're still together. Sometimes we catch up on our shows or whatever. Keep on a budget.
Yeah, you know? Keep on a budget. Keep track of everything. And if your taxes are complex, get a tax preparer.
Yeah.
At least until you got your feet under you and you know all of the ins and outs of. If you're on a 1099, you've got to put aside taxes to pay quarterly. You know, just
stick to a budget. We pull 25% out for our taxes and set that aside.
Yeah.
Each paycheck.
Yeah.
That way we're not scrambling at the end of the year
or each quarter
or whatever. We're setting aside our taxes, our tithe, and stuff like that we do.
do this if you want to simplify your life, because it really is about simplifying your life. You're not going to have all the bells and whistles that you had at home. You're not going to be able to pop to the not to say that you couldn't go and do your hair every week if you wanted to and you had the money to burn, or do your nails or whatever the case may be, but it's just things get a lot simpler out here. So
It is easier, it is quieter, it's a lot better than the daily grind. There are RV jobs out there there are seasonal jobs and stuff like that for full-time RVers that cater, anything from sugar beet harvest to Christmas trees, pumpkin patch, to RV park work camping, to gate guarding, to fire watch, hole watch, to a
yeah,
bunch
lots
of
of
jobs
stuff.
where you can earn an income, and it does work if you're wise with your income.
Yeah. Yep. So I think that's it. We're going to wrap it up for this time, because for one thing, we're kind of sitting outside under a tent, because inside recording is hard because of the sound of the AC, and the phone is using more power in the heat than I can put back in it, even with a backup battery that's pretty darn good. So we'll just wrap it up.